18 years after being adopted by a Hollywood millionaire, how is the Vietnamese boy doing now? From abandoned baby to adopted son of a superstar Pham Quang Sang, born in 2003 at a hospital in Ho Chi Minh City, did not have the kind of start in life most children do, surrounded by love and care from their parents. Just 2 days after his birth, he was abandoned with nothing but a birth certificate listing his name and a vague address, along with an unpaid hospital bill of 480,000 Vietnamese dongs, about $20 USD. His biological mother vanished after giving birth, and his grandparents were unable to care for him due to poverty. As a result, Quang Sang was taken to Tam Bin orphanage. Being premature and deprived of proper medical attention and nutrition, he faced numerous health challenges, including malnourishment and skin conditions. Then, in November 2006, a life-changing moment came when Hollywood star Angelina Jolie traveled to Vietnam with hopes of adopting a child. During her visit to the orphanage, her eyes landed on a frail little boy sitting quietly in the corner, unlike the other children who ran up playfully to receive gifts. That quiet boy was Quang Sang. Something about his presence touched Jolie deeply. By January 2007, she officially adopted him, gave him the name Pax Thien, meaning peaceful sky, and opened a brand new chapter in his life. Adjusting to fame, luxury, and a new family. In the early days of living with Angelina's family, Pax Thien was quiet and withdrawn. He clung to his adoptive family members in public and was visibly distressed by the constant flash of cameras. At times, he would panic or even run away from the paparazzi. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, understanding the trauma their son had endured, showered him with love and patience. Under their care, Pax gradually opened up, growing stronger and more confident with time. The once fragile orphan adapted to a life of luxury, expensive clothes, premium toys, and lavish global vacations. Jolie and Pitt spared no expense in giving him a joyful childhood. His 7th birthday was celebrated on a yacht with a $7,000 price tag, and family holidays sometimes reached up to $500,000, all to make up for the early years he had lost. By the time he turned 18, Pax had become a strong, independent young man with a distinct personality. He was once seen confidently driving a Toyota Tacoma worth tens of thousands of dollars, with a tan complexion and a well-built frame, looking far from the timid boy he once was. After Jolie and Pitt divorced, Pax remained especially close to his adoptive mother. The pair were often spotted strolling through upscale shopping areas like Melrose Avenue, or dining at famous restaurants such as Tao and Nobu Malibu. Recent concerns about his well-being this past weekend. International media outlets released photos of Pax Thien appearing dazed after a night out in Los Angeles. At 21, the Vietnamese-born young man is raising concerns with recent signs of instability. According to the Daily Mail, on the night of May 31st, Pax and a group of friends were seen entering Chateau Marmont, a celebrity-frequented hotel in Hollywood. When leaving, he was reportedly unsteady on his feet and needed support from his friends. Dressed in a black t-shirt and beige pants, he tried to maintain a smile despite barely being able to walk straight. The group later headed to an adult-themed nightclub, where Pax had to show ID and go through a security check. Though they stayed only about 30 minutes, the night didn't end until 2:30 a.m. on June 1st. A female companion even attempted to shield both their faces upon noticing paparazzi nearby, clearly uneasy with the media attention. Images of Pax in such a vulnerable state have sparked worry, especially given the challenges he has already faced in life. Pax Thien hospitalized after July 2024 traffic accident, sparking international media frenzy. In July 2024, Pax Thien, the adopted son of Angelina Jolie, found himself once again at the center of global media attention after being rushed to the hospital following a serious traffic accident. According to reports, Pax was riding an electric bike when he crashed into the rear of a car that was stopped at a red light. It was reported that Pax was not wearing a helmet at the time of the incident. The impact left him unconscious, and he was quickly transported to a nearby hospital after complaining of pain in his hip and head. This wasn't Pax's first incident on the road. Just 2 months earlier, in May 2024, he wrecked a Tesla in the middle of the night, crashing it into a parked truck outside Red Studios Hollywood in Los Angeles, California. Sources close to the family say Pax has been involved in multiple accidents even prior to the July 2024 crash. Friends have expressed growing concern over his refusal to wear helmets and his increasingly erratic driving habits. His friends are genuinely worried, a family acquaintance shared. He's being reckless. They feel uneasy. He's been in a series of car-related accidents. That's not a good sign. Pax is a troubled kid, and Angelina is doing everything she can to help him. The crash in July 2024 forced Pax to take an extended break from public life for recovery and treatment. It wasn't until early this year that the 21-year-old made a public appearance again. The aftermath of the crash left a long scar on his arm, an enduring reminder of that traumatic night. Lifestyle choices draw public criticism. In the wake of last year's accident, Pax faced mounting criticism over his lifestyle. Many questioned his disregard for safety and accused him of living recklessly without regard for his own life or for the law. Angelina Jolie says her kids can do whatever they want at home, and she gives them complete freedom, one social media user commented. Brad wanted to raise them with more discipline, and now he's been banned from seeing them and rejected by the family. The comment reflects a broader public conversation about parenting styles and accountability. Angelina Jolie has long been seen as a mother who prioritizes her children's freedom and individuality, while Brad Pitt was often portrayed as favoring structure and discipline, a contrast that contributed to their widely publicized split. While Pax's choices are now his own as a legal adult, the pattern of risky behavior has prompted concern and debate. With a history of accidents and questionable decisions, the pressure on Angelina Jolie and the scrutiny of her parenting has only intensified. Unflattering images of Pax Thien spark online debate. The recent images of Pax Thien looking disoriented after a night out in Los Angeles immediately triggered a wave of reactions across social media. Some argued that at 21, partying with friends was normal behavior. Others, however, expressed concern over what they saw as signs of a downward spiral. Comments included, "From crashing cars to clubbing like this, Pax Thien is going off the rails. Angelina Jolie needs to reconsider her parenting. I used to like Pax, but lately he's been caught in too many scandals. Wake up, Pax. And he's had it too good for too long, and now he's spoiled." Many were quick to point fingers at Angelina Jolie, blaming her for not raising him properly, and fueling the narrative that Pax is now a troubled child under media scrutiny. Angelina has long been seen as a mother who champions personal freedom and respects her children's individuality, choosing not to force them into any mold. The public concern was not only about the wild night out of a young man, but more so about who he is. One of the children Angelina adopted with hopes of giving a better life, a boy once described by the media as, quote, gentle, artistic, and close to his mother. The contrast between that image and the latest footage of Pax, disheveled, possibly intoxicated, has led many to ask, is Angelina really a good mother? Are critics being too harsh on Angelina Jolie? There's no denying that Angelina is a single mother who has raised 6 children, several of whom came from complex and traumatic backgrounds. Many have spoken up in her defense, saying it's unfair to judge her parenting based on a single mistake by her adult child. At 21, Pax is legally and morally responsible for his own choices. No parent is perfect, and no child follows the script 100%. Angelina Jolie has raised 6 children under intense media scrutiny and kept them largely away from scandal for years. That alone deserves respect, one supporter wrote. Angelina's parenting style has often been described as one that values freedom and respects individuality. But this does not mean she is neglectful or irresponsible. She famously paused her acting career to focus on raising her children after her high-profile divorce from Brad Pitt. She brought her kids along on humanitarian missions in Africa, encouraged them to explore languages, art, and global perspectives. Pax, in particular, has accompanied her on aid trips to places like Yemen and Cambodia, showing maturity and responsibility even as a child. To say Pax's recent behavior is solely the result of bad parenting is a stretch. Every young adult can go through a phase of rebellion, especially when raised in the high-pressure, zero-privacy world of celebrity children. Instead of rushing to blame the mother, perhaps we should see Pax as a young man navigating the turbulence of adulthood. What he needs most now is empathy, guidance, and support, not judgment or accusations. Pax Thien's story brings us back to an age-old question. When a child goes astray, who is to blame? Every parent hopes their child will grow into a responsible adult. But every child is also an individual with their own thoughts, choices, and mistakes. Angelina Jolie may not be able to control every step Pax takes now that he's an adult, but that does not mean she has failed as a mother. This episode could serve as a wake-up call for Pax Thien, and perhaps for other parents as well. Love and freedom must always be paired with accountability. And more importantly, each young person must learn to take ownership of their life, instead of relying solely on the foundation their parents worked so hard to build.